What's going on, Bulls fans? Listen, I am one competitive SOB. And right now, we have dug ourselves a hole. Our Heat Report channel is up to 5,000 subs. Our Celtics Today channel here at Chat Sports is almost up to 20,000. I am asking for your help. If you guys are a new Bulls fan coming across our channel, lock us in, hit that subscribe button. Any news or rumors around your Chicago Bulls, we're going to get you guys a video ASAP. Hit that subscribe button and lock us in. Welcome to the Bulls Report. My name is Patrick Siepman, and on today's show, we're going to be discussing the possibility if the Bulls should bring back Cam Payne after he was just waived by the San Antonio Spurs. Cam Payne, he was on the Bulls for a little bit, 3 years during his NBA career, actually. So let's talk about it. The Bulls have one more roster spot left. Could they bring him back? I do want to start off with this. Whenever I think of Cam Payne, I think of him and Russ doing this before every single Oklahoma City Thunder game. I liked his kind of player development and his career development because he started off as Russell Westbrook's dancing partner, but he's actually kind of carved out a really nice role for himself in the NBA. So, this is what I think about every single time I see Cam Payne or just hear his name. It's just him and MVP Brody just hitting the hit them folks before almost every game. Always was good vibes with those two. But let's kick it to Woj. Woj broke the news yesterday as he said the San Antonio Spurs are waiving veteran guard Cam Payne. Payne recently arrived in a trade from the Suns and now gets a chance to join a contending team that can give him a bigger role. Key point there, contending team. I wonder if Cam Payne thinks the Bulls could be a contender in his eyes, but maybe the Bulls could use him. Because, listen, Cam Payne has actually turned himself into a really nice backup guard in the NBA. And I think a lot of that had to do with the tutelage he got under Chris Paul, dating back to his times with the Phoenix Suns. But, past 2 seasons, averaging over double digits points per game. He's a sneaky good playmaker. He's super quick off the dribble, and he doesn't really have a fancy game whatsoever. He's a lot of just get the job done and just go to work. I like what he does in the mid-range game. Sneaky playmaker as well. Can get to the lane, kick out the open shooters, and has always been pretty efficient. The 2023 playoff stats for him when the Suns are last season for the Suns, he had 8.1 points per game, 2.9 assists, 57.9% from the field, and shot 40% from 3. So he's a very efficient point guard, and I really do think him being under Chris Paul for multiple years in Phoenix has really helped him develop. But let's go back in time a little bit to that 2021 NBA Finals when the Suns took on the Milwaukee Bucks. Cam Payne was a pretty big role for this Suns team. And, this Suns team in general, looking back on it, I think we're going to be man, that team was stacked. You had Chris Paul still pretty much in his prime. And then you had Mikal Bridges, obviously Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, and even a guy like Cam Payne coming off the bench, giving you double-digit points per game, 5 assists a night, 42% from the deck, and always shooting solid efficiency from downtown. But question is, can Cam Payne help the Chicago Bulls? Obviously, the Bulls have 14 players on their active roster, including a couple of two-way guys there. But how the Bulls roster shakes out right now, I have Jevon Carter slotted in as the starting point guard as of now. But, there's obviously debate. Either it's going to be him or Coby White, and we're just going to have to wait and see. You got the 2 wing scorers in Levine and DeRozan. Vooch being the big man in the middle, and then P-Dub on the wing spot, running that 4 spot for the Bulls. So maybe Cam Payne could be a bench piece for this Bulls team. But I'll explain my thoughts here in a second. I would rather have the Bulls focus on guys like Ayo, Coby White, and Jevon Carter as kind of be their guards that they use this season in their rotation. But I'll ask you guys, if you guys are the GM of the Chicago Bulls, you're Mark Eversley, Cam Payne and his agent sit down and say, we want to help the Bulls win games. Would you sign Cam Payne? This will be the pinned comment on today's video. So YouTube, they're going to throw an ad break your way. Scroll on down. Answer this question. Would you sign Cam Payne? Give me an S for sign or give me a P for pass. I would pass. I'm a fan of Cam Payne. I think he's a really good dude, really solid basketball player, a really solid backup point guard in the NBA, but I would have to pass. I just don't think it's worth it for the Chicago Bulls. If the Bulls were in a different position and they needed a backup point guard and, maybe the Bulls were truly a contending team, I'd be all in because I do think Cam Payne can excel in that role, being the backup point guard for a team that's contending for a championship. We've seen him do it with the Phoenix Suns. But let's take a look at the Bulls guards here. I just think you got almost too many bodies in this room. Jevon Carter, we know him and Coby White are going to be running a lot of that one spot for the Bulls. And, Jevon Carter specifically, I'm excited to see what he's going to do for the Bulls this season. I think he could, be a starting point guard. He could be a backup point guard. He can play multiple, roles just like he did with the Milwaukee Bucks last year. He only started 37 games, but he came off the bench for the rest of them. He's that Press Virginia type of dude, dating back to his West Virginia days. You guys all know I'm a big fan of Carter. But then it's mainly the young guys. It's guys like Ayo and it's guys like Coby White. Like, I wouldn't want Cam Payne coming in because those guys need to develop. And I think that's where the Bulls kind of, that's where they found a struggle in the past years, where they've had, these veterans on this team that have, taken a lot of the shot attempts and a lot of the usage rate. And it's kind of, it's kind of held off guys like Coby White and Patrick Williams developing specifically. So with those guys, if you would bring in another body into that guard room for the Bulls, I just wouldn't be the biggest fan of that move whatsoever. Listen, Cam Payne, tremendous basketball player, tremendous backup point guard in the league, but I just don't know if he would fit in with, this Bulls guards kind of backcourt here. And we'll focus here on Coby White here in just a second, but I do want to give a huge shout out to our proud sportsbook sponsor, BetUS. And if you guys head to chatsports.com/bet, use that promo code right there, chat125, you will get a 125% deposit bonus. That's one more time, chatsports.com/bet, promo code chat125, get your 125% deposit bonus today. So like I was saying, I like the Bulls backcourt. I like what we have right now. I really like the guys that, just the overall chemistry that they have. I think you have the scoring guards, and obviously Coby White and Jevon Carter can put it on the deck a little bit and get some buckets. I think they pair up really nicely with the Ayo Dosunmu and Alex Caruso. Obviously, those guys being more defensive-minded guards. But the number one takeaway on why I wouldn't bring in Cam Payne, you got to let Coby White develop. Listen, you spent a top 10 pick on this guy, and we've seen the regression over the past couple of seasons. I mean, his sophomore campaign, he averaged 15 points a night, and we've seen it go down each and every season, like 15 points a game, to 12, to 9 this past season. Yes, the efficiency is remaining up. He's still shooting very solid from deep, shooting over 37% this past season and 38.5% the year before. But the thing is with Coby White, he's going to have to get shots. Like, that's the thing with him. Because in that 2020 season, before DeRozan got to Chicago, he was great, and he got a lot of shot attempts, and he was that catalyst on this Bulls bench. Yes, the efficiency did go down, but the dude was averaging 15 points a night, 5 assists in his sophomore season. And this upcoming year for Coby, I think it's the biggest year of his career so far. Obviously, he did just get paid this offseason, a 3-year, $33 or $39 million deal with the Chicago Bulls. He's going to have to go earn that contract because a lot of fans in Chicago, we all know, we're kind of turning our heads on Coby a little bit because you did spend the 7th overall pick in the 2019 draft on him. Has he lived up to that? Probably not. If he went back to his sophomore year of his NBA career, if he was more on that page and went on that trajectory, we would have probably said it was worth it because I do think Coby White, talking about his game a little bit, he reminds me a lot of obviously he's not as good as Tyrese Maxey, but that kind of Lou Will, Tyrese Maxey sort of scoring combo guard off the bench, that is who he is. Like, he's the guy that can go get you a 9 of 12 from the field, get you 25 points, and you're like, this dude's an absolute offensive flamethrower, but then he can't have the games where he's going, 2 of 11, where he's very inconsistent, and it's also defensively with Coby White. He's going to have to bring something on that side of the floor because he is necessarily a cone for offensive players. People treat him like a cone drill. Anytime he is on the floor, it will always be pick and roll, bring him up. I mean, even the Miami Heat playing game for the Bulls, amount of times Miami Heat, he was on the floor, they would just pick on him. Hey, Jimmy Butler, come here. Come set the screen. Coby White's guys guarding you. Get the switch and just clear out, flatten out, and let the offensive player go to work. So I do think it's a big year for Coby White. Listen, man, I mean, this Bulls team, there's a lot of questions around them. And I think Coby White and guys like Patrick Williams and their development are going to play a huge impact to whether this Bulls team, whether you're blowing it up at the NBA trade deadline or maybe you are trying to, make a playoff push. But I'll leave it up to you guys. Show me your support of Coby White. Maybe he needs to bring the afro back. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe he needs to bring the big old fro back, and maybe that will help him out a little bit. But if you believe in Coby White, show me. Give me a like on today's video. Hit that thumbs up icon down below. Let's see how many people support Coby White and still believe in him. As always, guys, make sure you guys are subscribed here. Obviously, we're in the dog days of the NBA season, but the season is just around the corner. Training camp starts in less than 30 days. So make sure you guys subscribe. turn on your notifications, and we'll keep you posted on any news and rumors piece around your Chicago Bulls. See you guys next time. Go Bulls.